Hi. So in ballet, a lot of the key concepts and skills, techniques, things that I've learned in this class, it's just been mainly about elongating, stretching things out, making sure it's a good point, making sure I'm hitting specific directions, um, gauging all of the muscles, and what is it called? Engaging the core and using basically all the muscles to the best of my ability to really get that proper technique and proper movement. Learning how to breathe through these movements is also key, um, and breathing allows the body to get the blood flowing to those muscles, so that way when you're engaging, it's allowing more freedom or more control over that body part. And another thing is what we also learned about using certain muscles for certain movements. So instead of just using my entire leg to, say, bring it up into a passe, or to get into a releve passe, you had to use the back of your hamstring. And that was key because sometimes we think we're supposed to be using a whole muscle or a whole body part when really it only takes one muscle within that body part to really engage and get that movement flowing. So that's some of the things that I've learned about ballet, moving in ballet, getting the technique is just really particular about where things should be and how things should look and how the lines are elongated and everything like that. Other thing is deepening the plies. The plies is a foundation. So a lot of the things that we do are foundations for other things, other movements in class. So for the plies, a plie is foundation for our jumps. So it really helps get us up there when we bend and pop, bend and pop. So basically just having foundations down helps us move better in different movements, if that makes sense. We also have been learning about trying to move like water or move like a cloud, flowy, graceful. Whole time you've been telling us to move like gracefully and just move like you're on air type of thing. So that's some of the things that we've been learning about, and that just helps with the performance quality. I also had to adjust to the speed of say, dégagés, tendus. So tendus, dégagés, had to adjust to the speed of those. The frappés were something I had to work on. But I got it. I got it eventually after practicing. And yeah, I think I striked a little too hard sometimes because sometimes I would end up getting a pain in my leg. So I had to learn how to adjust to that. Like, okay, you strike, but don't go too hard because you're going to pull something. And so I had to learn how to adjust to the tempo of things that were at a fast pace, and especially because it was so technical and you have to meet this mark so fast, right? So just adjusting to those types of things is some of the things that I've learned how to adjust to them and how to overcome some of the things that I struggled with. I'm pretty much starting from rock bottom in this course in ballet, or I pretty much started there. I had very little ballet experience. I did learn like from a program with Steezy, a dance company online, and I did take their classes a couple times, their ballet classes, and so very minimum training. And so in the beginning of this course, a lot of my muscles were getting used to the things that we had to do. And it hurt. It definitely hurted. And so it was just a lot to take in, and especially with pointing and releves and jumping. Like the jumps are like, they're just jumps. Like I could do a jump. But just being so strict and multitasking and just making sure all of my lines are lining. um, you know, it was a struggle at first, and over the course, I got better, but I still have some room to do. Ballet isn't my thing for real. I really wanted to do ballet. I love ballet. I love how graceful people look in it. So I really one day want to be as graceful as a ballerina. However, throughout this course, I'm inching my way. I'm inching my way to it, but slowly but surely, because I think in the final, especially, like, I did flow a little bit. Maybe it felt like it. It felt like I was flowing in the tombe pas de bourrée, but really, overall, I started from nothing and I gained a lot of technique and skills, and I actually gained some type of balance. I actually did, like when we had to stand on releve and passe with our hold on, and we had to test the waters and hold it for a second. That was growth, because in the beginning I couldn't balance for anything, but towards the end I really, like, it was towards the end, like probably the last 2 weeks of class before finals, where I was seeing that balance. So I definitely saw a lot of, not a lot, but I saw some growth in that. I ended up balancing when I couldn't in the beginning. Actually was able to complete turns. Sometimes I would lose it, but overall I was able to complete turns. And mind you, in the beginning I was able to complete a turn, I think, but somehow in the middle I ended up adding a hop while I turned. So I don't really know why that happened, but towards the end, again, I still kind of struggled with this, but overall I think I did manage to complete turns without hopping. It's still something I'm working on. So sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And, so basically overall over this course, I've grown. I definitely have improved in some areas. And, these areas and specifically are like the tombe pas de bourrée that I struggled with for a while. And I asked you to show me how to do that, and you did. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm just not doing this extra tendu step, and that's why I be mixed up. Got it. And I remember also the engagement of the muscles, like that was something I had to work on, fighting for that turnout. I definitely had to learn how to do that, and it was hard. It's new to the body, so it took some adjusting, but it really, over time, it just really clicked and it became habit. So it was really nice to, after all that practice, after going to class every day, every other day, my body began to build the habit of engaging and doing everything I'm supposed to, and building that muscle memory of what I'm supposed to be doing. And so eventually I got really good at elongating my feet. I began to understand how I need to use my muscles and how much I need to stretch them out and how much I need to engage everything and how much I need to turn everything out. So, over time I realized that ballet is about very strong lines, very technical points and jumps, and everything's pretty much connected. Like the dégagés on the bar are then in the assemblée glissade combination. So, my understanding of ballet has grown from not knowing much of nothing about it to knowing a bunch more, such as the lines and the intricacies of ballet. So of course I still need to work on my balancing. Balancing, like both. I still have to work on like being on releve and passe, and that one combination where we go from front to back to prep, to turn, to stay up, to then soutenu, to then turn around. See, certain things like that require me to balance immediately after I turn, definitely got to work on that. I definitely have to work on remembering to engage everything, just more practice with that. I've done pretty well with that. I've done better at getting my lines together, but I feel like there's always room for improvement there. And also gracefulness, probably working on gracefulness and flowing and just being a like on a cloud as a just trying to be a ballerina. I still need to work on the directional things, just making sure if it's front, it's in front. If it's on the side, it's the side. And what's the details of that? Is my leg turned out, or is it like what position are we in, and what is that position supposed to look like? And so just making sure I have the directional changes and also tempo, hitting these detailed movements on tempo at a fast pace. That's very important. So I definitely have a lot more to work on. And, it was challenging to go through this experience with ballet because it's just so new to me, and it's not natural to me. Ballet isn't natural to me. So a lot of the things we did is just like, it takes more work for me to do, and it takes more practice. So, throughout the course, I struggled a bit, and I know I needed to practice more outside of class. And when I did, it did pay off. I really saw improvement. And really, I practiced the day before exam, and I feel like I performed really well within the practice, and I feel like I practiced really well in the final. I really can't complain about the final at all. I really think I did good. There was just some things I got confused on, like which one are we doing, and I don't know why I blanked. I don't know why I blanked on one of the combinations. I was like, wait, how does this start again? But so maybe like practicing, making sure I remember exactly what certain combinations are when I hear the name of it. But overall, I really enjoy how well I did on the final. I might not have had certain things like down packed, like as far as details go, but overall, I remember most things. I think I just did really well. I performed really well. I feel like there's still room for me to grow, but overall, the grade that I got for the final, I feel like is very valid, very much where I am mentally. So as far as with me, overcoming these challenges in class is just about repetition and practice. So that's the most I can really do, and watching videos of other people performing it. But repetition and practice will always be my go-to to overcome challenges. So throughout class, I struggled, but I overcame a lot of the challenges through practice and repetition. So moving forward, that's what I will continue to do to work towards my goal as being a graceful ballerina.